All right, let's go ahead and get started as we have a lot of great information and panelists to bring to you today. First of all, my name is Amanda Cito. I am the Strategic Volunteer Engagement Director for Trident United Way, and I will be your webinar facilitator. I will be popping in here and there to introduce each of our panelists, as well as helping to direct your questions that come through in the question box. So we hope that you're as excited about today's session as we are. It is our fifth session in our Ask the Expert webinar series. And it's a utility partner panel discussion. So we're fortunate enough to welcome 5 of our local utility companies, as well as a bonus presenter towards the end, our very own representative from South Carolina 211, who will bookend the presentation. Just a few things before we get started for housekeeping. We know it's very easy if you're working remotely or just in this very virtual and digital world we're living in to try to multitask while you're listening, but we encourage you to try not to do that, as there's going to be a lot of information covered in the session that we want you to have available to you. We are recording today's session and we'll make the link available to you afterwards. But again, we want you to make sure that you're hearing it firsthand and ensure that any questions that you have, we can try to get answered either at the end during our question and answer session or throughout the session directly from our panelists. As I mentioned, you have a question box. We encourage you to utilize that to submit your questions at any point during the presentation, and we'll do our best to get those answered for you. And just a reminder that we are recording the session. So just real quickly, in case you are new to Trident United Way, and this is the first time you are logging into either a webinar with us or any kind of event or activity, our vision is to be the leader in uniting our community to improve lives, and that is within the Tri-County area of Charleston, Berkeley, and Dorchester counties. And we feel in order to do that, we need to focus on 3 impact areas of education to prepare our children for future success, health, and creating a healthier Tri-County, and through financial stability and helping people work and be financially stable. We very much so feel that all 3 of these impact areas need to be addressed and looked at holistically to improve lives. Today's session very much so falls within our financial stability impact area, as looking at utilities and utility payments and making sure that they're available to families across the Tri-County are important to helping people be stable. So today's discussion, or the format, you'll hear presentations by each of our partners and panelists, and then afterwards you'll have an opportunity to submit questions to them through the question box, which they will work to answer specifically through the question box. And then at the end, we'll have a Q&A session for more kind of general questions that everyone can benefit from hearing. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started with our first panelist. I'm excited to introduce to you Libby Rohrig, the Manager of Communications from Berkeley Electric Co-op. So, Libby, I have provided you with control of the screen, and so please feel free to take over.
Thanks so much for having Berkeley Electric. We are such a proud partner of Trident United Way, and so happy to be part of this conversation today. So before we get into how we're helping our consumers stay in service, a little bit about Berkeley Electric and how we're different. We're a not-for-profit electric cooperative, which means we're owned and governed by the members we serve. We consider the people we serve not customers, but members, because they help govern us and have a shared stake in things. We serve more than 100,000 meters in parts of Berkeley, Charleston, and Dorchester counties, and that makes us the largest electric co-op in the state. So at Berkeley Electric, we, like some of the other utilities on the call today, have a good bit of experience managing large-scale disasters. So we know how vital being prepared is to having a good response. So back in February, when we were all starting to learn about the COVID-19 virus, we reviewed our response plan. On March 11th, the World Health Organization declared a global pandemic, and we were able to start making changes to our operations the very next day on March 12th. That weekend, March 14th, we announced we were suspending disconnects for non-payment, and followed by the announcement that we were closing our lobbies to our district offices. That was a change that a lot of us have made to protect both our employees and our membership. On March 19th, we sent home a little over half of our workforce, which, shout out to our IT department. They, in 24 hours, accomplished a pretty remarkable task of getting that many people home and safe. On March, as part of our response, our board immediately started thinking about how could we help our membership. We knew a lot of folks were out of work overnight and would very soon be facing a real financial hardship. So I'm very proud to say that on March 23rd, our board approved refunding the security deposits that we were holding on certain accounts. And, a security deposit is 2 times the monthly average, and they're assessed on an account when a credit check indicates there's a additional risk to serving this member. And it amounted to more than $4.8 million went directly back to our members. And the reasoning behind it was, during this very scary, uncertain time, if we think back to mid-March, there was so much we didn't know. And our board wanted our members, if they were trying to decide whether paying their bill or buying food for their family, to make it, to eliminate that question, and that the easy answer was for them to support their families, that we would be helping them out by returning this money to them. So that helped about a third of our members, nearly 34,000. And we've seen the months since that this has really helped our membership, that compared to some of our peers around the state, the number of members who are in arrears is much lower than other folks. So we really feel like that was a great benefit to them. After the March security deposit return, we again went back to thinking about how we could further help our members, and the board once again rose to the occasion and voted to distribute our capital credit return early. Normally that is paid in November or December, but we are paying it. The board voted in May to do that, and those payments are going out as we speak. So again, as a not-for-profit electric co-op, the margins that we operate with are returned to the membership each year when the conditions are right. So the total there was another $5 million went back out into the community. So between the two efforts, we have directly infused $10 million into the Tri-County area. And I'm also proud to say that we had access to a matching grant for $20,000 through our co-bank partner that we donated to Trident United Way. So a lot of work's being done to help the folks living in our service territory. With the pandemic, things are changing on a daily basis, and we have been using all of our communication channels to get the latest information out to our members. Some highlights are ongoing. We're alerting them to scams that we're hearing of. The trying times bring out the best in people, but unfortunately, it also brings out the worst in people. And we're hearing lots of ways that folks are getting phone calls or emails, and scammers are trying to take advantage of them. So trying to educate our membership the best we can there. Early into March and April, we knew everybody was at home, using more power, trying to work from home or educate their kids before the schools got out. So we changed our marketing focus to more energy efficiency tips and ways that they could manage their account without coming to the office. And since April, we again know so many of our members are experiencing a financial hardship, and just encouraging them to apply for the different charitable resources that are available to them. So, as I mentioned, in the pandemic, things are changing almost on a daily basis. And back in May, we had decided to bring the employees back to the office on June 8th with a plan to reopen our lobbies on June 10th, and then resume disconnections for non-payments in July. Well, we got a couple weeks into it, and just saw record-breaking new COVID-19 cases happening on a daily basis. And we went back and decided that for the safety of our employees and our membership, that we needed to close the lobbies again and send our employees back home. So we have also postponed any disconnects for non-payment. This is all till further notice. We're just watching and seeing. It may be a few weeks, a few months. We just don't know, and we're pretty comfortable saying that we're just going to figure this out as we go along. We are still encouraging our members to pay what they can. Again, as a not-for-profit electric co-op, if someone doesn't pay their bill, that means other members have to absorb that cost. So it's very important that everybody pay their fair share. And again, we're also really encouraging our membership to apply for and use the financial resources that are available in the community.
Libby, thank you so much for all of this information and for everything that Berkeley Electric Co-op is doing for your members and for our community at large, and for your contribution to Trident United Way. Moving along, we will turn things over now to Charleston Water System, and Mike Saya, the Public Information Administrator, is going to lead us through some information, and he is joined by Eric Stevenson, the Customer Contact Center Manager. So Mike, take it away.
Well, thank you very much, and good morning, everybody. This is Mike, and I'll present all of our slides, and Eric will be participating in the Q&A because he's our customer service guru. And, Eric and I are both so glad to be part of this forum because it will really help people most in need. And let me get started here with the slides, and we'll go through each of these topics, and I'll be as succinct as possible. But I'm starting off with a little bit about Charleston Water. We're a public water and sewer utility serving the greater Charleston area. And the most important part of our mission is to support public health. And hand washing is the key action that we've been facilitating during this pandemic. Our water reaches, there we go, slides are going quick. Our water reaches most people in the low country, whether they're at home or at work. That's nearly 500,000 people. And we do that through two different vehicles. We have 120,000 retail water accounts, and those are active accounts. And so that means we directly provide water to about 300,000 of those 400,000 people I mentioned on the last slide. And this map shows in the light blue areas, that includes everyone in Charleston, North Charleston, James Island, Ravenel, Hollywood, and portions of Goose Creek, Ladson, and Dorchester County as well. And the dark blue areas on the map illustrate that we also provide water to the remaining 150,000 or so people through wholesale water service. That just means that we sell our water to municipalities who then distribute it to their customers and bill them accordingly. And on the sewer side of the house, we have about 60,000 active sewer accounts. And that means we provide sewer service to about 180,000 people. This map shows in green that our retail sewer service area includes basically all of the city of Charleston and does not extend beyond the city limits there. And again, this map also includes wholesale customers that are shown in brown, which means they collect all their wastewater and they give it to us and we put it through a meter and charge them accordingly. And how we serve. We basically take care of our customers through a call center and 2 branch offices. And we do that Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. And we also handle emergencies 24/7 for folks. And it's very important for everyone to know where our branch offices are, especially in this time of extreme need. And we're downtown on St. Philip Street, and we have an office on Rivers Avenue in the old Post and Courier building, which is next to the Boot Jack and a number of other retail places near there. From a coronavirus perspective, which is why we're all here today, just like Berkeley and most other utilities, we suspended non-pay shutoffs on March 14th, and we continued that voluntarily past the May 13th date where Governor McMaster allowed them to continue again. And on June 1st, we really took our first action where we doubled our monthly contributions to the Palmetto Community Action Partnership. We doubled them from $5,000 to $10,000 a month, and that's effective June 1 through the end of December at this moment. And we also made a one-time donation of $50,000 to PCAP because they are our primary community bill pay assistance partner. And all these funds have been available to our customers since June 1. And if you total it up, that's a little more, it's about $80,000. And those who are eligible, on a federal utility assistance guideline basis, if they're eligible for assistance, they can receive it once in a 12-month period, up to $500 maximum. And there are some exceptions to that: elderly, over 60, and disabled. If you've received disability in the last 30 days, you're eligible twice per year in a 12-month period, that is. We'll talk a little bit about more of that later in the presentation, but we need to return to normal operations. So our board and our staff have chosen August 17th as the date for when non-pay shutoffs and their corresponding fees will resume. That's going to impact about 10,000 customers. And that's about 30,000 people if you add them all up. But it's absolutely imperative that we do that because from a financial and operational perspective, we must return because our utility receives no tax or grant revenue. We're 100% dependent on ratepayer funds. And at the moment, we're facing millions of dollars of unpaid bills. And really, even though we've asked people to continue to pay something towards their bill, a great number of customers are simply ignoring their bill and letting debt just pile up. So we absolutely must return to service because right now those 10,000 accounts, there's about 10,000 accounts out there, and we actually mailed letters to each of them, every one of them today, urging them to contact us ASAP because there's money on the table. And there's assistance available. And the letter that we sent them also includes, a list of all the local agencies that are currently offering utility bill assistance. And there's about 11 of those in total. So we expect, when we look at other utilities and benchmark with other utilities, and we look at our own history, we expect about 20% of that 10,000 to pay their bill immediately. And they've just, ignored it a little bit, but they have the means. But the other 80%, we kind of expect to have some financial challenges. Now, when we look at a return to normal operations here, that means we're going to return, like I said earlier, we're going to resume our non-pay shutoffs and the corresponding fees. Now, our policies require us to shut off services when an account carries a large balance beyond the past due bill date. We do offer 10-day extensions. You can get one 10-day extension per month. I know the slide there says 1-day extension, but that's just a typo. So one 10-day extension per month. Our customers must call us before 5 o'clock on the past due date to initiate an extension. Otherwise, our computer system will generate a work order and we will shut them off immediately. So that's very important to know. They must call us before the past due date expires. And there's no annual limit on extensions. We actually average about 500 extensions a month in April, May, and June. And if that's something that can help your folks, whoever you're talking to, please let them know it's absolutely a viable option. If 10 days helps, then we're glad to give it to them as many times as we need to throughout the year. Looking a little bit more at account management here, we offer payment plans to customers with a past due balance of $200 or more. And they can actually initiate up to 4 payment plans annually. And those plans, they can span up to 12 months. And they could even go longer if we get management approval here internally. But to keep a payment plan active, customers must pay upfront. They must pay 50% of their past due balance to participate. And they must make at least one payment a month. So what we do is we estimate their bill over the length of a plan, and we include all of their estimated new charges into the plan when it's set up. So when each plan ends, it should end with a zero balance for that customer. And that includes all their current charges that we estimate for them. And these payment plans, however, are not offered to customers who have an open NSF charge, a non-sufficient fund charge on their account. So if they've made a payment and it bounces, then they have to get that settled before they begin a payment plan with us. And here's some interesting information. To date, less than 100 customers have enrolled in a payment plan since the governor's non-pay shutoff stoppage on March 13th. So we know that a lot of people are going to need one very, very soon. So that's why we're urging them to get in touch with us ASAP. Just like Berkeley, we've offered tips about water conservation and leak detection, and we focused on that for quite a while now. And also, there are some people with extreme usage who don't know why they have that extreme usage, and so we offer them a data log product, which gives them 96 days of hour-by-hour water use data, and they usually find out the reason for their extreme use with this tool. But when it really comes down to it, at this point, we're looking at, click here, third-party bill pay assistance, and that's actually going to be the most critical part of what we need to talk about today. And this is our last slide. And like I said, it's the most important slide we have today. So I mentioned earlier our contributions to PCAP and bill pay assistance. And this is where the rubber will meet the road in this crisis. We constantly refer our customers in need to PCAP. But at this point in time, customer inaction is really a big problem. There's so much money available right now, but it will go quickly, once shutoffs return. And to illustrate that, since March 1st, less than 100 customers have received a total of about $5,000 in aid from PCAP. So that means they've left about $80,000 on the table since then. Now, thankfully, all this money is still available. It's available. It's available right now. And we have about 10,000 customers currently in jeopardy of shutoff, like I mentioned earlier. And so if you look at them collectively, they owe about $3 million. And so thankfully, there's more aid out there than just PCAP. Thankfully, there's 10 other agencies offering bill pay assistance in the Charleston area, and many of them have additional CARES Act funding. But in closing, I want to urge everyone on this call to let their folks, anyone they contact who's in need, to call us ASAP to help us manage their account for them and help us connect them with assistance opportunities, because the only way to get assistance to customers is to start the communication process. And so if you have a pen and paper handy, I want to give you the number. There's just one number. They can call us Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. That number is 843-727-6800. Again, 843-727-6800. We know there's a lot of need. We need to connect with those people. We need to get them to call us. We're doing everything we can. And there's just a lot of inaction, and that's going to lead to a lot of hardship. So thank you for hearing what we had to offer, and hopefully we can answer any of your questions when we wrap up. But thank you.
Mike, thank you so much for Charleston Water's contributions to PCAP. I know there's probably a lot of folks on the call that were really interested to hear that there's still plenty of funding available as of right now, and will either reach out themselves or connect their clients there. So, before August 17th, so they can avoid any kind of hardship or additional fees or delays. I will also include that number that you shared in the chat box for everyone in a second. If anyone has any questions for both Libby or Mike with Berkeley Electric or Charleston Water, please feel free to submit those through the question box. But in the meantime, first I also want to say, Mike, that we are at Trident United Way are very proud to have Charleston Water as a partner in our building. So for those of you that don't know, the building that Mike mentioned, the old Post and Courier building, that is now Trident United Way's building. We are located on the second floor, and Charleston Water is located on the first floor. So we appreciate and value that partnership with you all. So, and now I want to introduce everyone to Paul Fisher, the Public Affairs Specialist with Dominion Energy. And Paul, I'm going to give you control right now, so take it away.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
We can.
Great. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Amanda, to participate in this event this morning. We really appreciate it. As I'm assuming many of you know, Dominion Energy South Carolina had a long history in South Carolina beyond 2019, when the Dominion Energy name was introduced to our customers for electric and natural gas. We were formerly SCE&G here in the state of South Carolina, and we've had a great long-standing partnership and relationship with the Trident United Way here in the Low Country, and really appreciate everything you guys do to help make this community stronger. And we've been proud to participate alongside with you in that, and proud to speak to everyone here today. So I'll take just a quick minute and pause on this slide to explain that I am Public Affairs and Media Relations here in the Low Country. Dominion Energy South Carolina serves about 1.1 million customers in natural gas and electricity across our footprint in South Carolina, but across the larger Dominion Energy enterprise across the footprint, we serve about 7 million customers in 20 states. So I want to talk a little bit about many of the same things that our other speakers touched on, and I'll share it from a Dominion Energy perspective. But one of the things we say at the organization, and one of the things that's very important to us from a a core values standpoint, is the phrase "actions speak louder." And I know we've heard once the pandemic began, we've heard a lot about everyone being in this together, and you've seen that in a lot of taglines and commercials. But we know here in the Low Country, in our partnerships with organizations like Trinity United Way, that's very true. We are all in this together, and actions do speak louder. So our key message is really for our customers is that we're working with you. That's been our message from the beginning. We've looked to adapt payment options, energy efficiency tips and assistance programs as quickly and as diligently as we could, and work to get that information out to our customers. And through many of you here on the call, helped with that, and our media partners as well. And that's what we've been saying since this began. So I'll walk us through kind of where it started for us. Right now, obviously, we still have an extension of our non-disconnection policy, and we're working with customers on a variety of payment options. We'll talk about those in just a minute or two. And we're also working to continue to put additional funding into the community through our Energy Share program, which I'll touch on in just a minute as well. So as this crisis has continued, so has our support. It has evolved since early March when all of this began. So back on March 12th, we did voluntarily suspend disconnects for non-payment across our service territory. That was here in South Carolina, but we also were working in coordination with our larger enterprise, and all of that happening in parallel across the larger Dominion footprint. May 12th, we did make that suspension, and of course, past the May 14th expiration of the governor's mandate, we have continued that. And actually, we recently announced just about 2 weeks ago that we'll be extending our non-disconnect policy through September 14th. As some of the other speakers have touched on, we continue to see significant spikes in COVID-19 cases in the state. Financial hardships for our customers have not gone away. That's continuing. The folks' employment situations continue to change and shift. And with, really the services we provide being the lifeblood of someone's home, now also their home office, now also their home school, we know just how important these services are, as all of our utility partners here participating today understand. So we're going to extend that into September 14th, and quite honestly, as we get to that point, we'll continue to evaluate those next steps. And really, at September 14th, we'll be looking at the needs of our customers, the economic conditions, and hoping that we've got enough support and assistance in place to help those customers who have fallen behind on those bills. So let's talk a little bit about some of those arrangements. Very similar to what you may have heard in some of the other presentations. We've worked very, very hard to communicate with our customers that really we're here to help, which we started on with that first slide. We say prior to the new normal, all a customer really needs to do if they're having trouble paying their bill, if they're having trouble making ends meet, if they're in some sort of financial hardship or crisis, is to give us a call. So we've worked through direct mail, through email blasts, through our media partners, through notifications in our billing statements, both paper and electronic, to make sure customers understand that there are options available. Short-term arrangements at Dominion Energy are, that exists, of course, year-round in COVID-19 or not. Those arrangements are there. Many of them are accessible for customers in a self-service fashion online or through our mobile app. We have budget billing plans available, which typically aren't really used as a credit tool, but I will share that in early May, as the pandemic was just sort of taking hold, and everyone knew it was going to be here to stay, we did offer to a number of eligible customers who had $300 in arrears or less an opportunity to take that $300 and roll it into a budget billing plan, which would give them the opportunity to take that balance and sort of pay it off over a 12-month period. Obviously, budget billing is based on usage, and they'd have that monthly fixed usage amount as well as a portion of that balance to be paid down each month. And that was very well received from the customers who were eligible for that. So long-term arrangements are also in place for customers. That's something that we do pretty consistently in our customer service arena anyway. That is available to customers. We're talking about the ability to take a larger balance, and spread that out over, say, 2 months or 4 months and sort of pay that down in addition to their normal monthly charges. And our Energy Share and Assistance programs, we had kicked off Energy Share in South Carolina. Oops, sorry, the screens are moving on me. We've kicked off Energy Share in South Carolina just a couple of months ago with a $250,000 donation. What Energy Share is it allows customers who are low income, elderly, or disabled to get additional assistance. It's administered through South Carolina's Office of Economic Opportunity, so we have a great relationship with them as well. And those funds, the $250,000, was recently supplemented with an additional $500,000 contribution in June to really kind of kickstart that program to get the funds out there. And through the South Carolina Office of Economic Opportunity, we've got about 12 community action agencies across our South Carolina service territory who are helping to disperse those funds to those customers that are most in need. So energy efficiency also is a big part of this. As we talked about working from home, schooling from home, more and more time just simply folks at home, larger numbers of folks at home. We've worked really hard with our media partners to get some stories out there to make sure that customers understand there's things they can do around the home, obviously, that can help them lower that energy bill. There are simple things, and then there are some larger things that are more along the home improvement side. But we're really been focusing on those easy, practical ways, like plugging everything into a power strip, particularly if you're working at a home office, and then simply clicking that power strip off at night. We know that modern electronics continue to draw power even when they're considered to be off. So that's really, I think they're really more in what's an electronic standby mode. So by connecting things to that power strip, that's simply one way to minimize that. Taking advantage of our low country weather and cooking outside rather than using the oven to consume energy, and also keeping that oven off in particularly these hot summer days here in the low country. It doesn't make your heating and air unit work quite as hard. So that brings me up to an announcement that we just made a couple of weeks ago, and that's our home energy checkup. Our home energy checkup is a service, a no-cost service that we offer to our customers, where a energy information specialist, all you do is give us a call or go online to set up an appointment. An energy information specialist would come out to the home. They'd walk through the home. It would take somewhere between an hour and a half. And they would go underneath the home. They would inspect ductwork. You'd get an inspection of your heating and air conditioning unit. We'd provide LED bulbs, water heater wraps, pipe wraps, faucet aerators, any number of different things. But also this specialist would share with the homeowner whether it's caulking around windows and doors or replacing those furnace filters, a lot of tips as they walk through their home, ways that they could help them save on their energy bill. We have moved that program in response to the pandemic to a virtual program, and customers can now sign up for a virtual home energy checkup, contactless. You can speak to that energy information specialist online or on your mobile phone. If those resources aren't available, it can simply be done over the telephone. But we'll walk the customers through many of those same things, many of those same tips with a pretty thorough question and answer, and hopefully still provide them some very valuable information about keeping that bill low, particularly now during the pandemic. Also working very hard to make sure customers are aware of the scams. You heard our utility partners mention that in an earlier presentation. We are certainly not exempt from that. Those scams continue to evolve across our service territory. We work very diligently with our media partners to get that information out through print and television outlets, through direct communication with our customers. We're trying as hard as we can. And any customer who falls for this scam is one too many. I know that you've heard the $300 pay us today on a prepaid gift card, or your service will be turned off. That's why it's so important that our customers understand we have suspended those disconnections for non-payment. Anything that our customers hear, direct call for immediate payment. It's not how we do business. We're not going to cut someone off and demand immediate payment for a credit card or a gift card. We'll continue to work really hard to fight that down. You'll see that it's continuing to evolve beyond disconnection to for non-payment to other evolutions of the scam as well, including, we're going to replace your meter today, but you'll need to pay an additional fee to get that done. So the scams continue to evolve, and we'll continue to fight that back with education and awareness. So again, really in summary, what we say is if you need help, reach out, call us. We're here to help, particularly now more than ever. We understand it. Customers can simply call our customer service line. In response to the pandemic, one of the things that we did immediately, telecommuting across the South Carolina footprint, but across the greater enterprise as well. Obviously, there are folks in our operational world who are not able to telecommute, but many employees have and are, including about 140 customer service representatives who are now working from home, but continuing to be there available to connect and help customers work through whatever issues they may have. This is really about finding all of those arrangements that we talked about. It's really about finding a budget and a plan that works best for each customer. It is case by case, and we understand that. We have a lot of self-service options, but you can certainly call us. Customers can do that to connect and find out what works best for them. They can do that online. They can download the mobile app to stay connected with us as well. Again, the message here is to give us a call. We're working our way through this with our other utility partners and our greater community assistance agencies like the Trident United Way and others to help customers find a way out of this. We've encouraged they pay as they can, but we know that that's not always possible, and we'll continue to look for ways to help them move forward as we move through this health crisis.
Paul, thank you so much, and thank you for sharing that information about the funding that is available through South Carolina Economic, and I've already forgotten their entire name, but I know others were taking notes about it. So.
Yes, the Office of Economic Opportunity, that's right.
Thank you. Yes, that's great information to share, and thank you for your partnership as well. So again, if anyone has specific questions for Paul, please feel free to utilize our chat box, and we'll get them over to him for some answers. And with that, we'll continue on, and I'm happy to introduce Natalie Lawrence, the Communications Manager with Mount Pleasant Waterworks. And Natalie, you should now have control.
Sounds good. Good morning, everyone. First of all, I want to say thank you very much for taking some time out of your morning to listen to these opportunities to help our customers. And hopefully you can pass this along to the people that reach out to you. And I just hope that everybody on the other end is safe at this time and healthy this morning, and your families as well. So getting started, a little bit of background, Mount Pleasant Waterworks, and we can move to the next slide. Mount Pleasant Waterworks, we've been around for 85 years, and we provide water and wastewater services to roughly 90,000 population. So we're responsible for the treatment, storage, and distribution of drinking water to the East Cooper community. Now, our pandemic response, it sounds very similar to what everyone else has mentioned so far. And in early March, we launched what is called our incident command system, where we met virtually through our Teams meetings 3 times a week. So this is our management team. We have a very robust emergency management plan that is in place, and we were able to pick that up when this pandemic started and to use that process model. So we met 3 times a week, talked about everything from operations to the customer response. So we've been planning this from the get-go. Our lobby closed to the public in March. We've kept our drive-through open. Our service shutoffs were suspended for non-payment in March, directly from the governor's order. Our COVID-19 customer care program, which I'm going to talk about, we created this specifically for this pandemic. And we knew that we would be in July, the reinstatement of our shutoff policy. So we have begun phone calls and discussions with our customers because our shutoff policy has gone away for non-payment. PPE requirement was revisited for COVID-19, and we made updates for the staff. We're working with wastewater. I'm not sure if anyone has watched the news over the last week talking about COVID found in the virus in wastewater. All of our team is safe. So we had a lot of those type of things that we're working on our end. Work from home policy was also implemented. That was at the end of March. And we had 30% of our employees were working from home. And in addition to that, was our internal staff meetings as well as our commission meetings were done virtually. So that was a big learning curve for quite a few of us, but we are all doing well, and that worked out well. And then the last interesting piece is we did Mount Pleasant Waterworks. We collaborated with MUSC on their partnership, which was a return to work playbook. Essentially, we are working with them to have our staff who do volunteer to have an antibody test study done. And we were able to work with them as far as from an operational return to work standpoint, see what our best practice is, what we needed to do to keep everybody safe. So next slide. So our customer care program specific to COVID that we put into place, what you're looking at here, this is the application that you can find online on our website, and that's mountpleasantwaterworks.com. So right on the homepage, we do have a banner that will take you directly to this application. We are also allowing anybody that wants to just call the office. We can fill this out for you. The phone number here is 843-884-9626. And this is specifically for our residential customers. Like I said, the application, you can find that online. We will mail it to you, or you can come to the drive-through and we can hand you an application. So there are payment plan options with this. It's an eligibility process, so there's financial assistance. It's case by case. We're very fortunate that we're a large utility, but we have a small but lean and mean team in our customer service that they're getting on the phone with each of the individuals that do choose to sign up for this program and talking through what is their specific situation. So we've had about average 50 to date was the number yesterday of individuals that have taken advantage of this, and each instance, like I said, is specific to the individual. So the funding source for this, we're very fortunate that we have this program called the Roundup program that is something that's been in place for years at Mount Pleasant Waterworks. And if you go to the next slide, this is something that, again, on our website or any of our bills, it's Mount Pleasant customers helping other Mount Pleasant customers that are in need financially with their bill. And essentially, they sign up and they agree to have their water bill rounded up to the next higher dollar each month for donation into this program. So we've been able to use that pool of money for our COVID-19 customer care program. Next slide. And I did want to mention this. So I've been talking about how we can help the East Cooper community or customers, Mount Pleasant Waterworks customers, for their water and wastewater bills. I was told that there is somebody potentially listening that is with ECHO, the East Cooper Community Outreach. So they are the expert on this, but I didn't want to not mention that this amazing group for years has been helping East Cooper residents with above and beyond water and wastewater, but with their temporary financial needs as well. So the website is here. Like I said, it's East Cooper area recipient of the CARES Act funds. So they received the money through the CARES Act fund, and that offers limited assistance with utility bills to the eligible recipients. If someone reaches out to ECHO for help and they mention that this is for water or wastewater utility services, we work with ECHO and let them know that you can pass them on to us, save the money if you can for potentially any of your customers that have needs with their rent, with their electric bill and other needs. Because let's dip into the pool that we have here for water, wastewater. But again, just mentioning that they are an amazing resource and very well known for anything beyond water and wastewater on the East Cooper side of the bridge. And that's it.
Allie, thank you very much for sharing this information. And we too echo your thoughts about ECHO. They're a wonderful partner with Trident United Way, and we appreciate them as well as all of our other agency representatives that are on this session today and their assistance. So, and our last but not least utility partner is Leslie Wetzel with Santee Cooper, and Leslie is the manager of the retail office at the Berkeley office. So Leslie, let me provide you with control if you'd like over your slides so you can take it from here.
Okay, thank you. Good morning. Santee Cooper is proud to be a longstanding partner with Trident United Way. We really appreciate what you do in our community, and we're excited that we can be a part of helping you, live your mission and every day provide support and help to those in need. We've heard a lot of great information this morning. I appreciate the opportunity to be on this panel and to hear our partners out there and what they're doing. And I think what we can take away from this today is that I've heard over and over in every presentation what's really important, and that's our customer. The theme today has been really how we can be there and meet our customers where they need to be met. And the same is true for Santee Cooper. Our customers, our employees, our communities that we serve are what's most important. And this time of COVID-19 has been an opportunity for us to really find out where our customers need to be met and what information that they need. Santee Cooper, indirectly serves all over the state of South Carolina. We have about 191,000 direct served customers. Our largest customer base is located in the Horry, Georgetown, Myrtle Beach area, but we do serve direct served customers here in Berkeley County. So I can get to the next. Oh. Okay. Are you controlling the slide, Linda?
It likes to go a little fast. Hold on one second. Oops.
Let's see.
Okay, I think we're good now.
Okay, so we immediately recognized the need to have a capacity where we could really reach out to our customers. We knew that we needed to increase communications and enhance the information of what we were providing and how quickly we could get it to our customers. We started working on a communication strategy before we closed our offices. We changed our IVR. We had a message for COVID if customers were having difficulty. We really tried to change our messaging across the board through our social media platforms, our website. We started a Santee Cooper COVID-19 page with frequent updates. All of our social media platforms. We encouraged customers to pay online. We have an online customer self-service portal called My Energy Link SC, known as MEL, where you can pay and manage your account online. We tried to get information out about our new checkout locations where you could pay at local stores like Dollar General or CVS. We tried to update our frequently asked questions, educate customers on scams, and really just encouraging customers to pay what they could at the time. Just to recap some of the events, I think you've heard some of these dates before, but really communicating more than ever with our customers. Our workforce transitioned fairly quickly, like most of the agencies and partners that you've heard today. We went from working and being in the office every day for our customers to transitioning to working from home, and that included our call center agents as well as our brick and mortar retail spaces, where we went to staggered shifts and drive-through only. And working on that communications plan also came with a payment relief strategy plan. So we were busy trying to get all of this together and brainstorming ideas of how we could help our customers. It was also a good opportunity for us to look at our business continuity plans. And storm season is among us, so it's always a good time. So we looked at those plans. We were able to activate some of our business continuity plans and really prove that we can pick up and serve our customers from anywhere. So of course we suspended our disconnects just like everyone else, and then we started implementing our payment relief strategy. So like everyone else, we're offering payment arrangements. We also have, we've always had short-term payment arrangements called pay plans, where a customer may just need, an extra week or two or a few days to be able to make an arrangement or make a payment with us. So if a customer calls in and wants to make a short term, we enter it as a pay plan. We also are offering now for our customers that are having financial difficulty through the COVID crisis, a more formal payment arrangement where they would pay their current bill, plus looking at any back balance that they've accrued, and we can break that balance up into a 4 to 6 month installment plan. We're also, we've always offered budget billing to our residential customers, but as a result of the COVID-19, we're also making some changes, and we can now offer that budget billing to some small commercial customers that qualify. And of course, that's kind of like levelized billing, where you pay the same month, the same bill every month, and at the end of the year, we true up your usage versus what you've paid on that budget amount. And so it's a good opportunity for commercial customers now to take advantage of that program. Our prepaid customers, we went through an account balance deferral. So we suspended disconnects on both traditional meters as well as our prepaid meters. So those prepaid customers that are typically accustomed to, paying along, and when their credit runs out on their account, their meter would turn off, we suspended disconnects on those meters. So what we did is we took all of that balance for our prepaid customers and moved it into what we call our deferred plan. So moving forward, they basically started with, a zero balance on their prepay account, and then as they use Energy Now and their meters turn off, part of the payment that they make, we take a little bit of that payment and apply it to their back balance. So they're able to pay that balance off a little at a time, and it's not such a financial burden at one time. We're also looking at late fees and on a case-by-case basis. And one thing I would say is that what I've heard over and over again, Mike and Paul mentioned earlier, is communicating. We really just need customers to reach out to us, whether it's email or giving us a call or coming back. Now that our offices are open, communication is key. You know, we're definitely here to help and support our customers, and we want them to know that we're here for them. We have reopened our offices. We started reopening our offices on June 1, and we did resume our disconnects on June 15th. So it's important for customers definitely to call us, because if a customer is disconnected for non-pay now, they still have all the same options that they did prior to being disconnected. We still are going to offer a payment plan, which helpfully can get them restored sooner for less than they would have pre the COVID pandemic. They could get a arrangement. They can seek assistance. Really, just trying to help customers understand that we're here for them, and the best thing that they can do is reach out and get in touch with us. And through our communication plan, just some quick facts. What you see here is just some ways that we've reached out and how we've changed our social media platforms and putting information out there on how-tos. We have, on our traditional customers, we placed over 17,000 outbound dialer calls through the period that our accounts, when we suspended disconnect. So over 17,000 automated calls, encouraging customers, please give us a call. Please call us and make a payment arrangement if you're having difficulty. We had over 5,500 emails that went out. We direct mailed customers if their accounts were in jeopardy of being suspended, or if they had reached a balance where they would be considered in our severance process. We actually did a direct mail. Our prepaid customers were the same on our communication strategy. 3,100 voice calls, over 8,600 texts went out, and over 32,000 emails went out to those prepaid customers, just encouraging them, pay what you can, call us, reach out to us. Your account is going to be, when disconnects resume, you're going to be in jeopardy of being disconnected. And again, to wrap it up, because I know we want to be able to get to Q&A session, just knowing that our customers are important. I think we've heard it through every partner that's been able to speak today, is communication is key, and that we're here for our customers, and we want to meet them where they want to be met.
Leslie, thank you so much. You reiterated some really important themes that came through today, and I think you're absolutely correct in that communication is key. Before we get to our Q&A session, though, I did want to provide you with a bonus panelist that I mentioned. We have Caleb Goodrum with United Way Association of South Carolina, who is the Manager of Data Quality and Engagement for 211. I think many of you joining us today may be familiar with 211 already, but I wanted to provide Caleb, or ask Caleb really, to provide just a quick overview about what 211 is and how folks can either access 211 or be sure that they're keeping their information, if you're an agency, updated on the 211 database, as he can share. More than ever, folks in the community are calling in or accessing the information available to 211. So Caleb, I will let you take over.
Awesome, thank you so much. Yeah, my name's Caleb, and I work on kind of the database side of 211. Like was mentioned, it's a statewide program, but Trident United Way does a great job of supporting 211 services in the Tri-County area. And in fact, there is someone who is dedicated to 211 work only in the Trident kind of areas. That's Katie Reams, and we'll give some contact info at the end. So thanks to Trident for investing a lot in 211. What 211 is, for those of you who don't know, is it's called an information and referral service. So the basics are we have a database full of information on service providers, and then folks can call or access online that database, and we'll provide referrals to service providers. It's a pretty wide range of services that we keep in the database, but it is kind of, I guess, primarily focused, and certainly the primary use is for basic needs stuff. And that would include utilities. There's three main ways of accessing 211. One is you just call 211. It's pretty simple. It's a 24/7 hotline, and it's available in a bunch of different languages thanks to a interpreter service. You can also just go to sc211.org, where you can search by the need, like if it's utilities, if it's rent, if it's healthcare, if it's mental health, whatever it might be. And you can also put your city, zip code, or county, so you can get geographically specific results there. And then the third option is we do have an app for iPhone and Android. If you search SC211, it should come up, and that is basically just an app-based version of the website. And all three of these things pull from the exact same database. So no matter how you're accessing it, you're kind of getting the same information. Essentially, what we're seeing right now, and this is kind of reflected by the other panelists, but we're seeing the need for electric, or I guess, well, primary electric, but utility payment starting to increase in a pretty real way. I think, now that folks are seeing that they're maybe falling behind after a couple months, and it's starting to compound, we're seeing a lot of folks calling and going online to search for those services. And like the other panelists mentioned, there are a handful of great organizations who are providing assistance. 211 has all that information on, where they are, what their hours are, how to access the services, and we will try to, if a customer comes to us, an electric customer, let's say, we will try to get them to, whether it's Palmetto Cap or it's, any of these other agencies. So that's kind of our goal, especially as it relates to utilities. One thing that we've been really grateful for in this time of COVID is agencies kind of collaborating with us to keep their information current. So as you might imagine, it's been a really dynamic time for financial assistance providers. A lot of folks either completely shut down or greatly reduced their services at the beginning of kind of COVID lockdown, and have been kind of climbing out of that in different ways for different organizations. And so, one of the things that we've been really busy doing is keeping track of that. And it would have been really, really hard if it weren't for agencies reaching out to us and telling us, hey, we're back, or, these are our new hours, or we got a grant, we're now providing utility assistance where we didn't before. And so if any of you guys who are on here are at an agency and are a representative, we'd love to kind of get you in the loop and have you check your listing, make sure it's okay, and if things change, kind of reach out to us. And there's two main ways to do that. If you go to sc211.org, there's a button to create an account, and you can find your agency and update the information. Also, if your agency is not in there and would like to put it on SC211 so that callers and web users can see your information and contact your agency, there's an option to just create a new agency from scratch online. But if you don't want to do it there, you can just email Katie Reams or myself, Caleb Goodrum. Our emails are down there, and tell us the updates that you have. As folks are kind of figuring out, grants from the CARES Act coming in, the way that service is being provided is changing. And so we're really grateful for any way we can capture that and get resources to people in the community. That's kind of our mandate. So that's the basics on 211. And I was really glad to hear some of this discussion from the utility providers as well. Thankful that they're kind of on board to be an active part of the community and help people through all this.
Thank you, Caleb. Yes, I agree. And it was great to see how many of them are promoting 211 themselves in their communications and resources that they're providing to clients, because we know 211 is going to be the most up-to-date and timely way that folks can get access to not only just one, but a couple of different referrals and resources in our community. So thank you all for promoting 211, as well as considering it's a free service for anyone in our state and in our area. We want to make sure that it's widely known that the service is available. So at this time, we will go ahead and open it up for questions to any and all of our panelists. I do have a few here that I will that have been submitted that I will kick it off with and direct them to some of our panelists for their response. So the first one is, for our utility partners, do you all have a way of staying on top of what organizations in the community have funding and making sure that you're providing accurate information to your clients? Or are you potentially utilizing 211 in as the most current and up-to-date resource? So I will kick it over to Mike and Eric at Charleston Water to respond, and then we'll get a few others to respond as well.
Yeah, for sure. For Charleston Water, we went to try the 211 first, and that was the best resource we've been able to find so far. You guys are awesome. And, we did have some individual conversations once we got that list together to find out if, funds truly were available and that everybody really was offering them to, water and sewer customers. And so we double checked before we mailed those letters out that will be arriving in customer homes today. That's all I got. Thanks.
Excellent. Thank you. Paul from Dominion Energy?
Yeah, absolutely. I did not really dig deeply into in our presentation was we have a specific team of employees. That's our customer assistance team. They are a branch of our customer service arm of the business, but they work specifically with customers who are challenged in any number of ways. Our customer assistance team stays very, very much in close contact with certainly the folks at Trident United Way and 211 or PCAP or any of the local agencies, and they work really hard to know exactly where the funding is, who has funding available, and then they'll often look to our public affairs team to help get that information out to our customers so that they know who to reach out to in their specific geography.
Great, thank you. And we'll get one more response here from Libby with Berkeley Electric Co-op.
Yeah, 211 is really the best resource for our members to find out what agencies they qualify for, because we serve portions of 3 different counties depending on whether they live, over in Cross or in Goose Creek. A different agency is going to serve them. So we really strongly promote the 211 resource.
Excellent, thank you. Another question that came through is asking about like a reminder of the steps of when folks are not able to pay their bills. However, it sounds like you all are offering a variety of different options, whether it be with your own payment relief plans or referrals to community resources. If you had to share the best possible way for clients to get this information, Would it be a website? Would it be a phone number? What is the kind of that main way for folks to get information about assistant options? And I'll start with Leslie this time at Santee Cooper.
Yes, we have flyers readily available at our retail locations. We always keep sort of that cheat sheet of resources available. And when customers come through and they have a question about their bill, we always encourage them to take that with them, to make those phone calls, to get those appointments. We have the information on our website as well. I think really just providing that information, sometimes putting it in their hands is the best, but I know with the situation that we're in now, we're only in drive-through only mode. And I think we've done some social media platforms where we've put out the 211 information, but we always have sort of a flyer, I guess you would call it, that we have, and we always can just have it in the office and give it to customers as they need it.
Great, thank you. And Natalie with Mount Pleasant Waterworks.
It sounds very similar on this end. We're still only using our drive-through. So the way that we get the information to our customers is either through the drive-through window on our website, but we also do send out our outbound notification emails to all of our, so it's a direct email in their inbox. Now, granted, of course, that's only for the most current and up-to-date emails that we do have, but that is a large portion of the responses that we did get back came by way of that email that we sent out to our customers. But they can, whatever works best for them, a phone call or going to our website. We're here.
Thank you. And I'm going to ask this of everyone. So moving up the list, I'll ask Paul with Dominion.
Yeah, very, very similar to what our other panelists have said. The important thing here is, we want to meet them where in the channel that works best for them, obviously. And the reminder here is simply connect with us. So certainly customers can connect online, dominionenergysc.com, and look for ways under customer assistance to get the help they need. They can certainly call us. Not everyone, we understand, is tech savvy, and not everyone prefers to connect with a company online. So they can certainly call us to do that as well. And we work really hard to make sure that through whether it's paper or electronic communication, whether that's a separate communication, paper electronically, or if it's a part of their monthly statement. We like to remind our customers they are in those channels as well of the variety of assistance that's available to them. So the key here is for them to connect in whatever platform works best.
And can I add one thing to that?
Sure.
I think it's important, for all of these agencies and the help that is out there, but to understand, what the expectation is for the customer as well. With like PCAP, if they require the last 3 bills, making sure that when we reach out and we give the information, we give that flyer that has all of every agency's phone number and contact information, but letting them know, when you go to your appointment, you're going to need your bills, and to go ahead and get them ready for them, or remind them before they go to log into their online account and print those statements or have them available, because that just makes the process go a lot smoother, and sometimes it can be quicker for the customer to be able to get their funding and for them to get the vouchers back over to the agents and to the utility.
Yeah, absolutely, Leslie. And from what I'm hearing you all and how you're presenting the information, that you don't want any of your customers or members to feel like it's a punitive process by any means, or that they should be, wary of calling to find out what available resources or assistance may be there for them. But because you all really are there to support and to help. And so, Mike, I will ask you and Eric the same kind of question. If there's, a phone number or a website or, that go-to spot for customers to get the information they need when they need help.
Well, this is Mike, and I guess I'll start and let Eric jump on, fill any holes I may leave. But, it's the phone. It's the call. at 843-727-6800. If you're in need, you're having trouble with your bill, you call, because we're going to offer you personalized assistance. We're going to tailor our response to your needs, and we're going to find a way to help. But if a customer chooses to ignore their bill, we're going to shut them off. And we're going to shut off 400 people a day for the first month and a half, probably. So there's a tidal wave coming. So anyone who chooses to ignore their bill is going to get caught up in that. And so we urge everyone to call us as soon as they can and let us help, because we're here to help. We have money to help, and we want to help. Anything else, Eric?
I agree with most everything you just said. I would just also add that, while calling 727-6800 is going to be the most personalized option, we do also cater to our customers who don't necessarily like picking up the phone. Obviously, we try to communicate with them in all kinds of different ways, whether it be through online means, whether we mail them letters or just notifying them through the actual mailed monthly statements. We try to make sure everyone gets notified in the method that they prefer.
Thanks.
Thank you. And then Libby.
Yeah, all of the above for us. Certainly our members get the richest information from the electronic sources we have, our Smart Hub app on smart devices or the website. But we also have a wonderful call center who can be reached at 800-327-9615. Amazing member service folks on our call center, including several bilingual representatives who can help our members. We really understand that we serve a diverse membership and try to meet all of them where they are. So our drive-throughs are also open. So if phone and other electronic means aren't available, our folks in the office are still there and happy to do what they can through the drive-through.
Thank you all. I have another question that came through, and it is specifically about agencies looking to assist clients or community members. And once an organization has the application and they're approved for a pledge to your company for that person, is there a specific contact person or process that your company uses to receive payments from agencies? And Mount Moriah Church is the one that is specifically asking, as they provide utility assistance. So I will ask Mike and Eric first, and then kick it over to Paul.
I'm going to leave this to Eric.
Yeah, obviously, any of our customers or partners who are trying to provide assistance for one of our customers, they can always call 727-6800 and just speak with one of our customer service representatives, and they'll direct the call as needed. But typically, when it comes to pledges, it does mostly go through our collections department, and they can be reached directly at 843-958-3678.
Thank you. And Paul, same question.
Have for the past several years had something in place called Web Pledge. So for the agencies that we work with out there that are looking to assist community members, they're contact our customer. They don't have a direct customer assistance team yet. They can simply call our 234 to connect with a customer assistance representative who can help them, whether it's a church or any other your nonprofit, get set up on Web Pledge. It allows them to, in real time, make those pledges to us that will appear on customers' accounts in real time. So Web Pledge is a great tool for that. Of course, if that is not something that is easily accessible or done by that organization, then they can certainly connect with our customer assistance team directly. And that's really the I would highly encourage and get connected on the website. It's the easiest way. That.
Do any other utility partners offer that web pledge option? And I'll ask Leslie first at Santee Cooper.
We currently don't have like an online portal. Most of our vouchers are faxed in. I know in the Berkeley County area, they're faxed into 843-761-4122 in whatever pledge form they use. And then we put that on the customer's accounts, because once the voucher is entered on their account, it kind of stops that collection process, and the account is automatically held and it won't incur any more fees or anything like that. But currently no online automated portal. It's just via email and fax at this point.
Great, thank you. And then either I'll just open it up for anyone else to see if anyone else has web pledge, and then unfortunately we'll be out of time for questions. So either Libby or Natalie, or do you guys offer web pledge?
This is Natalie with Mount Pleasant Waterworks. I would just mention again our Roundup program, but that doesn't sound like it's the same as what we're talking about. This is for a current customer, to round up their existing bill each month to put into a pool for those that need it. So it's nothing that is specific to an individual account that you could sign up online.
Hey, this is Libby Rohrig from Berkeley Electric. We currently do not have an online method for pledges. It's something we've discussed in the past and we'd like to. If an agency has a question about a pledge or how to make that happen, the best person for them to talk to would be Patrice Simmons. She is the manager of our Ondaw district office. She's also a manager of community service, and her phone number is 856-8125. But again, you could call that main toll-free number and just ask for Patrice, and our wonderful call center will get you over to her. But Patrice Simmons in Ondaw is kind of our go-to person for charitable outreach.
We love Patrice at Trident United Way. She's a volunteer in multiple capacities, and she's just a wonderful person to speak with. So I highly encourage folks to reach out to her. So again, I want to thank all of our panelists today for your time and your expertise to share how you are assisting your members and customers and our community at large through your overall support. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to all of our attendees. And just real quickly, as we wrap up here with a minute to go, I wanted to share briefly our next Ask the Expert webinar session is coming up on Wednesday, July 22nd. It's a Ready or Not, Preparing for the Unexpected session that will be hosted by a volunteer from Edward Jones. So he'll be sharing information about insurance deductibles to family planning, and then eventually retiring comfortably. So all of those important life events that sometimes can sneak up on us, and we may not think about reevaluating our current financial situation. So he'll be sharing some tips and things to be thinking about. You may have heard some of this information before, but it's just always a great reminder. So registration is on our website, and I'll include that in a follow-up email with the link to this recording, along with a short survey to ask you for your feedback on how things went. But again, thank you so much for attending, and I want to wish everyone a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much, and take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye.